Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're here to discuss today's result at Tynecastle. First, Hearts to Celtic. Two basically the same old story for Celtic. I'm joined by Nathan. Nathan, you're actually on the channel. I can't remember the last time you were on the channel, but you've picked your moment again. What can we even say about that today? I think the only surprise was we didn't lose the game.
Well, firstly, it's good to be back in the channel. Keeping up my double appearance. He's paying me appearance fees because I'm not good looking now. So, aye.
You
Um,
can fucking you can chase yourself.
anyway, see, to be fair, I didn't actually think we were going to lose the game at all, to be honest. I was just pretty disappointed with the performance and the way we went about things.
Aye, the performance was crap, to be honest with you, but that's the word I've used for weeks trying to sum up our performances. I think the disappointing thing, I'd probably be on here if we drew the game and, say we drew the game and, we've been, in the game, in terms of, trying to make a spectacle of it and our performance was quite good. I could maybe look at and go, do you know what, if we play like that in any other game, say Falkirk next week, we can go and get the result. But that's
Yeah,
the thing, Nathan. I didn't see any of that. I just seen Celtic hanging on at
yeah.
times in the game.
It wasn't even hanging on. We couldn't string two passes together.
Aye.
Talk about the trusty thing later, but I put that down to wasteful possession in the midfield, not being compact. Because whenever you've got a team and then they play a ball in behind your centre half, for any centre half in world football, once that ball's put in an open area, dead space, then it's a foot race, and the teams that a defender's not going to win against an attacker, and obviously it leads to sending off. But there's too many regulars in that team that just wasteful performances and inconsistent.
Aye. And the frustrating thing is, on Thursday, and obviously we spoke out with this and stuff, and we were, saying, brilliant bit of fight in the team looked up for it. But I also said on the reaction after the ball in the game, I says, I'm not going to praise them too much just now because this team have got a habit when they're expected to do something or expected to show up in a game, they don't do it. So I says, if they can do it at Hearts at the weekend, then I'll throw all the praise their way. But unfortunately, I've been proven right that this team yet again, and that's why it says in the title about is no showing up in big games, have when they're expected to do something, failed to do it.
I mean, that goes back to old Celtic teams, and it's ironic because this Celtic five in a row, obviously, but I just don't see the championship mentality in this team. I mean, you look a couple of years ago, I think we were away at Ross and we got a last minute goal that won us the league. It's like, I just don't see that spirit. And even it's weird because it's the same players, well, roughly the same players, obviously. But I look at people like Maida, and I mean, I was pretty fruitful towards Maida when I text you after. Well, I think the game is still going on actually when I text you about Maida, and I'm just honestly, he's one player I'm completely done with. But see if we could sell Maida tomorrow, I'd drive him to Glasgow Airport. I'm on it. I'm so sick of him.
Aye. We'll go to individual players in a second. But in terms of the start of the game, thought we actually started okay. The game was really scrappy kind of starting, but then we get the free kick. Negrin yet again just seems to be able to have this knack of scoring whatever way possible. We scored the first kind of free kick we've scored in years, and you're thinking, right, can we kick? You're normally thinking Hearts the opening 5-6 minutes might score, but we don't. You're thinking, right, we flipped the script here. Can we try and build on it? But no, we when Hearts were struggling in that first half, which they were struggling. You're
Yeah,
thinking, right, can we build on this? And other Celtic teams doing the years would have built on that, and we would have maybe been 2-3 up at half time. But we just didn't do it. We played to Hearts' strengths. They wanted the game to be scrappy because they weren't playing well. So we just end up making the game scrappy. And that's as you were saying with the passing. That's unfortunately what you get.
I think the concerning thing for me is that when we've been playing this season, we've been playing as if we aren't Celtic and as if we haven't got the best players in the league, which obviously it's up for debate if they're the best players in the league, because they're not currently. But I mean, we should be the ones attacking teams and playing the way we want to play. Why are we putting the ball back up in the air when all Hearts want to punt it up the line and challenge our centre halves? Why are we doing that?
I'll tell you why I did that, because Hearts knew they weren't playing well. And they thought, right, we need to try and make this game uncomfortable for Celtic. And now we know, this squad has got a complete lack of strength for it. And that's the problem, is when the going gets tough, at places like Tynecastle, Pittodrie, Easter Road, Ibrox, they fold. And that's what Hearts done. They were able to just go, all right, we'll make this scrappy, get into half time, and we'll regroup. But even towards the end of the first half, Hearts were pinning us back.
Exactly. I mean, I can't remember a period in the game when we were batting the goal. Craig Gordon had nothing to do.
Exactly. But I mean, I look at it and you're thinking, right, we get at half time 1-0, and you're thinking, right, we've managed to weather some sort of a storm. Can we try and come out? But we're worse. We came out worse. The ball was just bypassing the midfield. The passes were all over the place. We were just constant.
It's not obviously the passing worries me, but it's not really that. It's the decision making in this team. I've never seen a team that has got worse decision making games than Celtic. Right,
that's horrendous.
I need to defend corners, but we'll give them the opportunity to get a corner all the time. I defend for set plays. But we'll just give away silly free kicks all the time. You're like, what are you doing? It's like, see the one for the second goal, right? That was when I lost my head at Maida, because Murray actually came on outstanding clearance, by the way, when he first came on. And then he came on, he tackled the boy, and Maida just comes and lazily kicks him.
Aye. And exactly, it was playing at Hearts' strength again, because the one thing Hearts wanted was free kicks running out, because they had height that they could bring up their centre half, and they knew they were dangerous for corners, free kicks, and Celtic just kept playing to it. But you talk about just the careless decision making. There was a point in the second half where Dyson Maida just passes a ball blindly, basically, to
kicks in the middle of the
park. And I'm like, what? And then we've even spoke about it a bit in the first half, where Austin Trusty gets bailed out by Kasper Schmeichel.
I know.
It's just brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Then they get the equaliser, which I thought we could have defended the corner better. There's two men running them, and he just out jumps two of them.
I was watching it on TV, and the guy was going off his absolute nut, because he's like he said it multiple times, we're not getting men on the back post, and they score for a corner that goes to Tierney and Engels. I don't know what they were. People know his fault. But it was just it was honestly just a complete shit show defending corners.
Aye. Then we go to 10 men. The Hearts striker kind of busts through, and it's a foot race between him and Trusty. Trusty kind of pulls him back. Originally, it was a yellow card that was deemed to be, but then went to VAR, seen as a red card. I mean, I think it's soft. I think it's harsh, like the one in midweek. But the way I'm looking at it, and yet again, I look at the players. We know. Refs are probably going to, in this day and age, refs are probably going to gear up.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you need to stop them having the opportunity to give a decision like that. And the way you do that is stop being so careless in possession. It all goes back to that for me. You stop being careless in possession. Austin Trusty doesn't need to sprint after the ball.
Exactly. I mean, when you put your centre half, you can't blame them, because if you've got open space in the midfield and the ball gets played in by the centre half, then the centre half's no got eyes in his back of his head. He's only looking at the player that's right next to him, isn't he? So I blame the midfield for it. Obviously, people can sit here and Trusty had an awful game, but Celtic really doesn't help their centre halves. And we look, and we can all sit here and say Liam Scales is awful and shouldn't be at Celtic, right? As a defender, Liam Scales is good. As an actual defender with the ball, he's good, right? the thing is Austin Trusty and Liam Scales cannot play with the ball at their feet.
Aye.
It's just because our midfield's so pathetic and not willing to stand up and take accountability.
But that's even like good Celtic teams under, like say the Ange Postecoglou team for instance, and you had Cameron Carter-Vickers who was maybe a more out and out just defender, but then you also had Starfelt who maybe at times defensively was a bit thingy with the ball at his feet, but he could play a pass, he could break a line. We've not got that, and that's the problem. I was listening to commentary in the first half, and they were saying Hearts are happy for Austin Trusty to sit on the ball because they know he's not very good with the ball at his feet. But then there was a few occasions where he did actually get a good ball at the top right, and we managed to kind of get in. But the quality, what we've been saying all season, but the lack of quality and that sort of stuff, it's just the same story.
I knew for the start of the game that we were only win because you see the team, the first 11, like, all right, you look at the bench, you've got James Forrest as your only winger on the bench. Like, it's so bad. And you're sitting there and you're almost thinking to yourself, you're like, how on earth, right? And you know how incompetent our board is, right? But even them, how on earth can you let yourself get to that point? I don't understand.
Because they've gave up. I think they've gave up as well, unfortunately.
They've genuinely not got the right to give up.
I know. I've just realised we spoke about the second half for the second goal. The second goal's actually there's a wee bit of quality. You know, Maida, I'm calling him Big Tam because I'm not even trying to put it.
I've been calling him Kevin Carter, right? And I've got the actual way to say his name, and I was just like, I was like Big Tam.
Hi, Big Tam. I know, but him and Maida link up really well, and he puts a really good ball across. Yang's there, shows one bit of quality for a minute, then goes back to normal. And that you can say that about the whole team, to be honest with you. But you're thinking, right, but then I think we get a second goal, right, let's try and calm down, but we don't, we just go back to the same. I don't get it, it's mind-boggling. Use your brain. It's not even anything to do with football ability, just use your brain, and there's been too many moments the last week where Celtic players just don't use the fucking brain.
That's genuine. People say it's the hardest part of football, but if you're professional, then it's the easiest part of football. If you struggle with defending balls in the box, don't
stop the cross.
Don't give a team the opportunity to put the ball in the box under any circumstance. I mean, it's as simple as this: shutting down crosses, right? You need to shut down the fullbacks and the wingers need to shut down the cross at point value. Because once that ball goes in the box, it's always panic stations. And Schmeichel's not the best keeper coming out and catching the ball, which I've actually thought Schmeichel was probably
one of the better players.
I thought actually, I've not really heard many people say so I could be talking at Mars here, but I actually thought Araujo was actually.
He was playing Hearts himself at some at points, to be honest with you. I felt sorry for him, I really did. He was genuinely trying really hard to get himself up the pitch while the rest of them just did it, and I felt bad. We should be looking to try and see if we could maybe get him in the summer if he continues to play as well as he has been, because he's been one of the only ones I've been impressed. Imagine signing a player and he comes in and makes your squad better. Who would have thought? Honestly, man, it just proves the fact. But anyway, that's
the harsh reality of it is I think all the lone players I don't think any of them are going to become permanent.
I don't know, but I think Araujo's been decent.
Never put a foot wrong at Celtic, to be fair.
The crossing was doing my head in because I knew we were struggling to defend it, and the boy that Hearts had crossing it was pretty good. Hearts were really good at crossing the ball. I thought. And then the second goal comes for that because we just don't defend the box, and Braga finishes it. At that point, I was just thinking, we're going to lose this. We didn't lose it, to be fair, but I mean, it's just a shambles. It's just, 10 men or not, why, we shouldn't be able to do it to 10 men twice in a week.
Exactly. I mean, for some reason, whenever we go to Tynecastle, we always get... Always. It's bad.
because it's an environment where it's it's the crowd are on top of you. That's when you need to use your brain, and that even with our kind of players, you can maybe have a rant and rave at refereeing decisions and stuff. Which, as I said, I think it's harsh that Trusty's been sent off. But I see why he's been sent off. But that's when I look at it and go, he wouldn't be put in that situation if we just played and calmed and passed the ball about like we did in the first half for a bit. We're putting, but it just got frantic. For about the 30th minute.
Yeah, I mean, I'd about the red card as well. See if it was the other way about, I'd be crying for a sending off. So I don't see how anybody can play it, because it's no like pure your shout at the ref and all that. It's like, it's disappointing. Yeah, should it have been a red? In my opinion, no, because the ball's going away from goal and Murray's there, but it doesn't matter. I think Hearts still would have scored anyway. So
I think it's that's what I'm saying. I think it's just important to actually focus on us and how we performed as a team, because I would understand if we were playing really well, right, and that was the only thing it cost us.
Yeah,
fine, not got a problem with that. But the team cost us, the players cost us. As I said, only players probably gave pass marks to Schmeichel. Thought he's kept us in the game for the second game in a row and probably got us a point again. Araho, I thought it was solid enough. But that's it.
Big time because he got an assist all game.
Maybe for his first game, but that's it. And even that, I'm reaching a bit. Midfield, McGregor, thought he looked back to his best. Thursday night, non-existent. Arne Engels, as everybody knows, defended him quite a lot. Honestly, £11 million. I mean,
he's no.
Jesus Christ, and it's not even to do the price tag. He's just not even. If we paid $2 million for Arne Engels, I'd still be like, you need to be performing better than that. And he's got it in him. He's got it in him, because we saw it on Thursday, but he's just not like. And the key word with this team, like the difference between any other team, and that's what annoys me, is consistency. And that's what I said on Thursday. Right, no, well done, but go and do it again, then go and do it again, then go do it again, and yet they failed at the second hurdle.
That's the mark of champions. You look at the Rangers. I mean, they, by all accounts, played rotten today, but they won.
Aye,
and exactly. And obviously Celtic chatting on that, but Rangers are going to win the league.
Certainly, because, well, it'll either be, I always said this as well, whoever acts the most professional in January will be favourites to win this league title. Celtic are acting unprofessional off the park in terms of their dealings and how they're dealing, or lack of dealing, shall I say, and on the park as well, while the other two teams are, going about their business properly.
You call it unprofessional, or you just call it negligence and just naivety?
Aye, probably.
That's what I thought, because, listen, anybody, we can all sit here and go on for hours about the board, so it's a pure pointless. I've moved many a time, but to put myself in Michael's shoes for a second, right? The big shoes. He's a big bastard.
He's a big wanker. That's what he is. A big fucking wanker.
And put myself right, and it was actually my dad that was telling me this today. Right, he's a lawyer, right, and he's the guy that does all this.
Exactly. That's Celtic's recruitment. A lawyer.
You saying I can get Mike Cross, and go, Mike Cross, get in, be the head of recruitment. It's like,
who's Mike Cross?
You know, the guy that's not actually a lawyer, but he went the case.
No.
Not when Meghan Markle's in the.
Oh, Suits.
Aye.
Right, I know what you're talking about now. Aye, right. Right.
Get Meghan Markle in, my God.
But I mean, it's that's always baffled me generally when I found out that he was a lawyer. It baffled me, man. It's just absolutely baffling. That he is a lawyer. I've always said this. It's like they're playing football, man. They're pretending to play Football Manager in real life.
Like me when I put my suit on at night, and I like putting a wee accent as well if I'm going to be a Italian team, and then I try to sign this player that plays in Africa, and that's
and then your dad walks in and says, "What the fuck are you doing?" No, it's just mental. It is. It's just everything about this club. It's just, I mean, it's just, and it's annoying because Hearts are the club that show you what modern day recruitment is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
see if I was at any other team, I'd be sitting just pissing ourselves. I mean, I'm basically laughing at it just now because although it upsets me that Celtic are bad, I've always came from the standpoint of anything in life. If you don't deserve it, you're no gonna get. And
we're getting to the point where Nathan's talking about motivational speeches here, man. We are fucked, man.
Exactly, but we just don't deserve it. That is the thing. You can't bypass in football and just do the bare minimum, and that's what
we've done. Exactly.
That's what the board's doing. I mean, you could even say to an extent that's what the home fans are doing, because obviously the Green Bay had been banned. You won't see them back again. But the atmosphere's like a morgue, and obviously, granted, we've not had anything to think about this season, shout about, and sing about, but everything head to toe.
Because it filters down, so it starts at the top. If you're seeing a lack of, no qualifying for the Champions League, that's going to affect the atmosphere. Now, me when we go to football, I'm normally shouting and bawling and we're, singing about it. I'm at the point where I'm just like, what's the point? I don't care so much that. And it filters down because it'll filter down to the players. They know they need help. It'll filter down to Martin O'Neill, then it filters down to the supporters. It's a process of how it just, and that's what we're at. It's just the negative atmosphere of the club, and yet again, without getting into the board too much, they've caused it. They have caused it, but they'll sit there in Gallivant and fucking Bologna getting pissed. When in the middle of a January window.
The thing is,
mean, fucking hell.
The thing is this is what's so weird, right? Because you look at the European campaign, right? I think we've actually done pretty well in Europe this season.
Thanks to Martin O'Neill.
Exactly, all things considered. You look at the league when you're expected to win and dominate the ball, and you're getting out. Obviously, Motherwell, but I mean, like things like that. We have just been getting outplayed. Even when Rodgers was here, and Rodgers is doing outstanding in Saudi, we were getting outplayed something chronic.
Remember, he was a problem, though.
I know. Listen, my opinions on Rodgers.
He wasn't flawless. He's not the main issue at this club, as we've seen.
I don't like Brendan at all, right? And obviously hate Nancy. Well, I don't hate Nancy. It's not Nancy's fault what happened. But you just got to look at it and go, it's just been pure neglect on every single level.
It has been, but they'll blame everybody else before they blame themselves, because that's how the Celtic board operate, and they'll blame the Green Brigade, they'll blame everybody else, but that's how they'll operate.
Right, I hold my hands up. All this is on me, the board's fault. Then I could go, all right, I accept it. You need to give O'Neill what he wants. In my opinion, what we should have done with O'Neill in the past as well, right? We should have just said, right, O'Neill, you're coming back. Whatever you want, whatever position, we'll go and get it. They might not be the best player, but we'll go and get it. No, we're not fine.
No, I believe it. It's not even the fact. See if we brought in players and they were rubbish, then I keep leave right. We've tried.
Yeah,
but we're even trying it. It's just it's mental. And if the rumours are to believe, apparently Martin O'Neill was really hesitant about taking the job back because they basically told him to piss off the first time. And I wouldn't blame the guy. But the fact they and I said this month, I think last month in the journal, says they've hung out so many managers to try Brendan Rodgers, Ange Postecoglou.
Like Martin O'Neill, a 74-year-old man who's a Celtic legend, put him in this position. You're going to kill him with a heart attack.
It's a stress. A stress. It's just, and that's what I was going to say. It's just, the manager, the board have hung out Martin O'Neill, like what? Like,
You
know, it's incredible. I don't know. They feel like to end it off. I mean, where do we actually kind of go for here? Because it just seems like the whole club's just hobbling to the end of the season, one big patchwork, and we'll fix it in the summer, even though they probably won't.
honestly, I want to sort of just simulate summer. To be honest,
Aye.
If you Nathan's magical prediction, and we can come back to this at the end of the season, I'll bet you money so that if this comes up, you owe me something. Actually, you owe me a pint if this comes up. What's going to happen is we're going to finish third in the league, right? But we'll get to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. What happens beyond that, I don't know. But that.
We'll come back to that. It could be either an old timer or an absolute. Watch me get beaten at Utrecht on Thursday, and I'm even waiting to the end of the season. You're coming on the Utrecht reaction to fess up.
These guys again.
Honestly, that's us. We're now getting fucking beat off Utrecht, but I mean, I don't know. The whole club just looks like it's stumbling at the end of the season. But it's their own fault. It's their own fault. It's been years and years of, and I'm not going to take it away from Hearts and stuff like that. They've done really well and whatever else, and it's not my frustration that Celtic are sitting third in the league. Partly it is, right, but the part of the problem is we're not even putting up a fight.
Yeah,
you know, when Aberdeen had that good run last season, we were neck and neck with Aberdeen. We were winning games. You know, we're doing well. We're in Europe at the same time. Now we're just hobbling to the end of the season and hoping that everything will magically fix itself, where it won't, because the same people are sitting at this club and they're in charge, and they'll continue to be in charge, and they'll be continuing to fuck everything up in this club. And I'm going to be honest with you, that is my ending thoughts on it, because I
think what about this time is usually when Celtic get in a title race with somebody, probably because Celtic are dropping points, and which we have done this season, don't get me wrong, and O'Neill touched well, we're not winning this league because Hearts and Rangers are better than us. Right? It's not because we're dropping points, it's because they're winning games that they're meant to win.
Yes.
And that and you know, you can sit and you can be a Celtic fan with your green tinted specs and moan and cry about it, but at the end of the day,
that's the facts.
At the end of the day, nobody is against Celtic. Nobody's against Celtic. The only people that are against Celtic are the people that are meant to protect Celtic, and that's the board. They're the people that's against Celtic. So I would say to any fan that, and I've met some, honestly, bordering on insanity Celtic fans recently that say, "Oh no, we'll still win the league."
Taxi drivers, by chance.
Taxi drivers, exactly. I'm just looking at them. They don't want to level criticism at the board. They don't want to level criticism at the players. They want to level criticism at the fans. And I would say to that, well, you're not a real fan then, because if you can't criticise fairly what is actually wrong and what's actually happening, like see people that are like I've seen it online after the game crying about the red card and how the rest. Just honestly, like sorry for my language, but just fuck off. Seriously, because it's pathetic. We done that.
But no, but I was just sitting back and fucking enjoy that. No, but it isn't. You know, and I've always said it's people that still can't see that this board are a problem. I mean, I've always said you've got a problem. You've got issues, man.
The players at the club need to, and I'm pointing this towards McGregor specifically. Right? You need to stand up and show why you've been at Celtic so long and why you're a Celtic player. Right? I don't care if the board don't sign anybody. Obviously, I do care, but I don't care if the board don't sign anybody. The players at the club should still fight, and it's the lack of fight. And I've said this for day one of the season, by the way, to you especially. I've said there's no. I don't think players in that team want to be Celtic players.
But that's the frustrating thing. To finish up, we saw that fight on Thursday.
Exactly.
So, you know, and that's the thing, but the reason Thursday, because they weren't expected of that, and so if they fought, and say we lost that game 3-2, oh well, we're down to 10 men, you know, we couldn't do much about it. But see me come to a game at Tynecastle, you're expected to win. You're expected to get something out, you're expected to do a good performance, and that's where they hide. We've got a squad that just hide when the going gets tough.
But they're not playing with the freedom that we know that they can play with, because I don't care if we get... Oh, I say this again, I'm repeating. Obviously, I do care, right? But if you get beat in a respectable way and you play front foot football and actually attack, to go to Hearts and no even challenge a 42-year-old keeper who's still outstanding, I'm not taking that away from him, but you don't make him work, that's just no on.
I know, it's ridiculous. But no, I mean, it's just the same old story that we've been speaking about for weeks. But no, I'm going to wrap it up there for today's video. If you could please like, subscribe, if you could bear staying it, then it would be much appreciated. But I will be back at some point through the week. We build up to the Europa League game against Utrecht. But until next time, we'll speak to you later. Inhale, hail.